Donald Trump taken during a break in his 2015 deposition and the federal lawsuit accusing him and Trump University of fraud. Now we have the full video of the entire deposition, which was originally sealed under court order during the 2016 campaign. This is video Trump didn't want you to see. Here are 9 revealing clips of Trump doing what he often does, running away from or distorting the truth. You can watch how he refuses to call false statements false, and how he says he can't remember saying that he had one of the world's best memories.
I feel that your attention to details has kept your memory sharp.
No, my memory's good.
Well, you've described it as being better than good, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's safe. I have a good memory.
Well, you've described it as being one of the all-time great memories, right?
I have a good memory.
Well,
Do you remember? Is that your question?
do you remember saying that you have one of the all-time great memories?
Yeah, I said that.
And do you believe that's true? Do you have one of the all-time great memories?
I have a very good memory, yes.
Do you believe you have one of the best memories in the world?
That I can't tell you. I can't talk for other people, but I have a good memory.
Well, you've stated, though, that you have one of the best memories in the world.
I don't know. Did I use that expression?
Yes.
Where? Could I see it?
I can play you a video of you of a reporter reporting it.
Did I say I have a great memory or one of the best in the world?
One of the best in the world is what the reporter reported you to say.
I mean, I don't remember that. Okay. As good as my memory is, I don't remember that. But I have a good memory.
So you don't remember saying you have one of the best memories in the
I
world?
don't remember that.
Okay.
I remember you telling me, but I don't know that I said it.
Do you recall saying that you have one of the all-time great memories?
I think that was the expression I used.
And you stand behind it?
Yeah, I have a great memory. I have a very good memory.
What's the question, Jason?
The question is, this individual I'm saying here, can you tell me whether this person is student, live events instructor, or neither? Johnny Harris.
Too many years.
Ken Gosselin.
Too many years.
Mike Dubin.
It sounds very familiar. The names sound familiar, just too many years.
Darren Liebman.
Its name sounds familiar, but it's too many years.
Johnny Birkins.
I don't know.
Johnny Horton.
Too many years.
Tim Voss.
Again, you can go through this whole list, and I'm sure you'd like to, so you can take us for a long time. But these are, some of those names sound familiar to me, but it's too many years ago.
Chris Goss.
You going to go through a whole list of names?
You're the one who said, give me a list.
You want to show it to
You're
him?
right.
You want to show it to him?
I'm going through the names.
If you want, supposing you show it to me, I can save you a lot of time.
I'll go through the list. We left off with Chris Goss.
I just
Instructor,
again, some of these names
neither.
Some of these names sound familiar to me, but it's too many years ago.
Sound familiar as in might have been an instructor, might have been a student?
Could have been.
Could have been neither?
Could have been, no, would have been more likely instructors. I would have known the instructors much more so than the students. We'll have a lot of students testifying, but we have, but as far as that list is concerned, I would have the names familiar. It's just too
Well, when you
long
say
ago.
that list, we don't have any documents.
I don't even know what list
That's
I'm
right.
reading from.
The lawyer is
reading
reading
names.
from a piece of paper
Shouldn't
that's
you
not,
have a document before?
excuse me, that has not been put in front of you. The record will reflect that, and the testimony will be evaluated in light of his refusal to let you see a list or represent what the list means. So just answer his questions and we'll take it from there. Next question, please.
Ken Berry.
Too many years.
James Webb.
I don't remember the names. Don't remember the name.
James Casper.
Too many years. Too many years.
Mike Casper.
Too many years.
Kerry Martin.
Some of the names, by the way, sound familiar, but too many years to know who they are.
Paul Lucas.
Same thing.
Kerry Lucas.
Same answer.
Mike Peterson.
Same answer.
Troy Peterson.
Same answer.
Chris Gillen.
Same answer.
Steve Gilpin.
Same answer.
Scott Miller.
Same answer.
Steve Miller.
We're going to do this all day?
Is it the same answer?
Same answer.
Derek McNulty.
Same answer.
Rick McNally.
How many more do you have? How many more names do you have?
Mr. Trump, you're the one who wants to get through this quickly. Just answer the questions and we'll get through it quickly.
You're not going to get anything through quickly. You don't want to get anything through quickly. Same answer.
Gary Stanton,
Same answer.
Johnny Berkins,
Same answer.
Gerald Martin,
Same answer.
Chris LaFrance,
Same answer.
Steve Goff,
Same answer.
James Webb,
Same answer to your harassment questions.
Chris Lombardo,
Same answer to your harassment questions.
Keith Hawley,
Same answer.
Keith Sperry,
Same answer.
Howard Bell,
Same answer.
Howard Haller,
Same answer.
Bob Serafine,
Same answer.
Bob Steenson,
Same answer.
Jerry
Same
Moore,
answer.
Joe Lahore,
Same answer.
Mike
Same answer.
McMenemy,
Same answer.
Rick McNally,
Same answer.
Mike Casper,
Same answer.
Tim Gorsline,
Same answer.
Jeff Nolan,
Same answer.
Steve Gilpin,
Same answer.
James Christ,
Same answer.
Alex Grist,
Same answer.
Mike Weber,
Same answer.
Don Sexton,
Same answer. Well, I know the name very well, but same answer. It's too long
What-
ago.
do you know
As
that
to
name?
Don
John?
Sexton,
I've heard the name.
could you repeat the question just so he
Yeah,
has it in
Don
mind?
Sexton.
I heard the question.
Do you know whether whether that individual is a live events instructor, a student, or neither?
I remember the name, but I'd have to, it's just many years ago. I'd have to check the facts.
Gary Stanton,
Same answer.
Gary Sturgeon.
Same answer.
I'm sorry. Gary Stanton, and then Gary Sturgeon, Sturgeon. So construct for me a scenario.
And we did have a lot of very good instructors. I mean, you can always find somebody that maybe is not so good or a couple.
Can you,
they had a
can
lot
you
of
name
good-
for me one good live events instructor?
I don't know
Asked
the
and answered.
instructors.
Do you know a single good live events instructor?
Asked and answered.
Do you?
Am I supposed to answer that?
You've answered it many
All I
times,
can say
and
is-
answered again.
It's many years ago.
Flip to the next page, which is 10292. You refer in about the 1/3 of the way down. I'm going to give you 2 hours of access to one of my amazing instructors. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
The same date.
This is different date, different location, different ad. Again, you don't have any idea what the qualifications were of those instructors, correct?
I just said get good people. I wanted good people. And I told you I saw resumes,
You
but
wanted good people, but you have no idea what the actual qualifications were, correct?
I hear we had some great instructors.
But I'm asking you, do you have any personal knowledge
Yeah.
as to what the
Yeah,
qualifications
they had to be
actually were?
good. I wanted good instructors.
I know what you wanted. What I'm asking you is, do you have any personal knowledge that they were, in fact, good?
I've heard good things.
But
My
do
only
you-
knowledge is this. I've heard good things.
And this is when John Carl is asking you about your past praise for certain individuals. The first one he mentions is your past praise of Jeb Bush, of whom you said he is exactly the kind of political leader this country needs now.
When was this? What year was
This
this?
is this year. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This interview is this year. The quote he's referring to is from years past.
Yeah, well, that's right. Okay, fine.
He is exactly the kind of political leader this country needs now, and we very much need in the future.
But when was the quote? How many years ago?
We'll get to that. He's bright, tough, and principled.
Okay.
And Mr. Carl goes on to say, and not just Jeb Bush. Of Hillary Clinton, you said just in 2012.
Can I ask you a question? What's the relevance of this?
I'll get to it. She's
Well,
a
don't
terrific,
answer any questions.
she's a terrific person, works hard, and I think she does a good
This
job.
is,
I'm out.
George Pataki, you said, was the most underrated guy in American politics. Rick Perry, you said, is a very effective governor. Texas is lucky to have him. And then Mr. Carl went on to say, now you've declared Hillary the worst Secretary of State ever, Pataki the worst governor of New York ever, and you said Rick Perry's too dumb maybe to be in the debate. And your response to all that was a very simple answer to that. I was a businessman all my life. I've made a tremendous fortune. I had to deal with politicians, and I would contribute to them, and I would deal with them. And certainly I'm not going to say bad things about people because I needed their support to get projects done. I needed their support for lots of things, or I may have needed their support, put another way. I mean, you're not going to say horrible things and then go in a year later and say, listen, can I have your support for this project or this development or this business? So I say nice about almost everybody, and I contributed to people because I was a smart businessman. I've built a tremendous company, and I did that based on relationships. Is that just response you gave an accurate explanation for why you had said nice things about these folks in the past and now are expressing different views?
I don't think I should have to answer this. I
I'm
think
gonna
this is
instruct
so far off
I'm
base.
instructing not to answer the
It's
question.
just a filibuster. That's all you do.
It's not a filibuster.
It's a filibuster. It's
What
ridiculous.
I'm getting
What does
at
this have
is-
to do with what you're doing here?
What I'm getting at is you said in your explanation here that you had a business reason for complimenting these folks in the past, correct?
I'm instructing.
I don't think I should respond to
time
this guy.
Time out. I'm instructing
Just
you
a
not to
hold-up.
answer. I don't think it has anything remotely to do with the case.
You-
Please.
Let's just go to court and
You-
get this
you-
case.
you-
I'm dying to go to court on this
Mr.
case.
Trump, you've referenced a number of times your belief that students had praise for Trump University, correct?
You can answer that question.
Yeah, they have great praise for Trump University.
And you have yourself praised people in the past because you felt that was necessary to get their help, correct?
Supposed to answer that question?
No, you don't have to answer. If it has anything to do with Exhibit 489, you're not allowed to answer it.
Whether it has to do with 489 or not, you have given praise to people in the past because you thought you might need their help, correct?
If it doesn't have to do with this, it's a different question, I think.
Unrelated to Exhibit 489, if you can answer the question is vague and ambiguous.
Have you given praise to people in the past
And
because you felt you might need their help for a deal in the future?
and it's incomplete.
Yeah. I think that generally I like to be as positive about people as I can.
And have
Generally, I like
and
to.
have you given praise for that reason, even when you didn't sincerely believe the praise?
Question is vague, ambiguous, and
Yeah,
overbroad.
I mean, do you have a specific instance? And I'll give
Yeah,
you
I
the
do.
answer. Not this. No, it's ridiculous how this.
These are your words, Mr.
Okay.
Trump.
But
So-
it's a whole different world.
So
It's all right. Get a ruling from the judge. It's all right. Go get a ruling from the judge. It's fine.
you asked me for a specific instance.
Jason,
I'm going to give you one. If you don't need a specific instance, then just answer the
give me
question. without
give me
it.
an instance that pertains to what we're talking about.
What I'm asking you is, have you in the past given praise to someone because you may need their help for a deal, even though you did not sincerely believe the praise you gave them?
First of all, that's totally different from our lawsuit. Okay, that's a totally different thing. These people have given tremendous praise. Many of them have given tremendous praise for the course. So that's totally different from what you're talking about. And almost everyone has signed a document, et cetera, et cetera. I so look forward to having this case go to court. I've been waiting for it for a long time.
Well, you're delaying this deposition.
No, I
so why don't you
don't
answer
mind
my
delaying
question?
it. I'm just telling you, I look
think he
forward to
did
having it
answer
in court.
No, no.
And I look
Dan,
forward to having
you
a
don't
nice
think he
long
answered it.
trial.
There's no
I look forward to having a
rational
nice
person
long
who thinks he
trial.
answered it.
Excuse me. If we go
I
back
look
and check
so
the
look
record,
forward
I thought
to it.
he answered this question.
No, Dan, the question was, it was posed to Mr. Trump. Have you in the past given praise to someone because you thought you may need their help in business later on, even though you didn't sincerely believe the praise you were giving them?
Do any situations come to mind? If so,
No situation comes to mind. No.
So, and you won't answer the question as to pertaining to Jeb Bush.
Well,
I
this is
won't allow him
politics.
to answer the
It's
question.
politics.
You will not,
I've instructed
and you
him
will not
to.
answer the question as to Hillary Clinton.
Correct.
And you will not answer the question as to George Pataki.
Correct.
And you will not answer the question as to Rick Perry.
Correct.
So you don't know if you've done that in the past.
You'd have to give me a specific instance. I mean, you're asking
Other
me a
than the
question.
four you gave
No,
out this week.
no.
within
You'd
the
have
past
to
couple
give.
months?
You would have to give me a specific instance. Not
I'm
this.
giving you a specific
Having
one.
Well,
to do
I've
with
instructed
business.
him
Having
not
to
to
do with
answer.
business. Give me the business. Give me a business instance.
Mr. Trump, you referred to Mr. Pataki as the most underrated guy in American politics,
Time out.
correct?
Please don't answer the question I've instructed you not to answer. Please move on, Jason.
Referencing your book, The America We Deserve, Mr. Trump, does Exhibit 490 appear to be an accurate copy of portions of that book?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at you among other things in this book, you take the education industry to task, correct?
I take what?
And the education industry to task, correct?
Well, I wrote it 16 years ago, so I talk about education, I think, but I wrote it a long time ago.
Okay, if you look at the second page of the exhibit itself, which is
Page 2.
yes, it's page 156 of the e-book version of this.
Okay.
You wrote this book, right?
Yeah, I did.
The education industry is delivering less for more money and claiming no ground has been lost. It's fraud, pure and simple.
Yeah.
So would you agree that when educators deliver less than promised for more money and claim they're doing something great, it's fraud, pure and simple?
Question calls for improper opinion, testimony, incomplete hypothetical. It lacks foundation, vague and ambiguous. You can answer, subject to those objections.
The education is living less for.
Let the record reflect that, again, you presented him with page 156, and
I'd
there's
really
no
have,
context for
I'd
that
really
statement.
I'd like to read, the entire chapter before I answer that question. Do you have the rest of it?
Without reading the entire chapter of your own book, you can't answer the question as to whether or not when educators deliver less than promised for more money and claim they're doing something great, it's fraud, pure and simple?
You can answer that question, whether or not you need to read the whole chapter in order to answer the question.
I would say no, it's not fraud.
Okay, that's not fraud. So this statement in your book you think is not accurate?
It's trying to get a point across.
So it's not accurate.
It's not accurate, yeah. It's trying to get a point across.
Using an inaccurate statement.
It's trying to get a point across. Education is very important to me. I'm trying to get a point across.
And the point you're trying to get across was what?
That education has gotten out of control and that ideally something has to be done about it.
So the fact that it was fraud, pure and simple, is just thrown in there?
No, it's just I'm trying to make a point, and it's not fraud, but I'm trying to make a point as strongly as possible.
Up to you. I'm going to direct your attention. Exhibit 493 contains excerpts of Mr. Sexton's testimony in this case, the Cohen case. If you could, please turn to page 261 of his testimony.
Okay.
And I'll represent to you that these questions are referring to that same script that you had in your hand, which is Exhibit 492. Okay. And the question posed to him was, you knew when you were sending the script.
Where is that?
I'm sorry. Page
I see. Number 6. Okay.
Yes, there you go. Line 6. You knew when you were sending the script that you were sending it to individuals that had not, in fact, had dinner with Mr. Trump, correct? Answer. That's correct. And you knew that Mr. Trump had not said anything to them over dinner, correct? Answer. That's correct. Sending a script to instructors that contains a misrepresentation about having had dinner with you and discussed real estate with you over dinner, do you believe, Mr. Trump, that set a good example or a bad example for the instructors?
Well, I think it's hyperbole probably. And, I think it's not particularly important, but I think it's hyperbole.
And object to the question is calling for improper opinion testimony and is vague and ambiguous.
So is that the kind of thing you consider to be an innocent exaggeration?
That's same objections.
Yeah, I'd say that's an innocent exaggeration, yes.
So if the instructors are trying to basically convince the students that they have a close relationship with you, and that's part of the pitch, is that they have such a close relationship with you that you actually have dinner and talk real estate with them, that's, you believe, is innocent exaggeration?
Same objections.
I would say it's hyperbole. I would really say it's, I think that's probably the word for it. A lot of people say they met with me and they were with me and all of this stuff. I mean, I have it all the time. I think it's hyperbole.
But you, in this context of talking to prospective students, people who might pay to be instructed by these folks, you consider that to be innocent
know.
exaggeration?
Same objections.
I don't know. People love the courses, so I just don't know. But I would say it's innocent hyperbole. Yeah.
And hyperbole in this context is the same thing as saying something's not accurate, right?
Same
It
objections.
depends on how you're talking about accurate. But I would say that no, this a thing like that's very innocent. I can see a lot of people doing it.
But again, you're talking about something that's something that's false.
Same objection.
Well, I didn't have dinner with him, but I could see it being hyperbole. I could see it being something that somebody would say.
Okay, but hyperbole in this context, again, in this context.
You might
of
say
the
tonight
statement-
that we had dinner together. You know?
But
Yeah.
it would be false for me to say that you and I had breakfast together this morning, right?
Yeah, it's sort of false. It would depend on how you meant it, how you said it, but yeah, it would be false.
Is there
You could
any
say we sort of had lunch together.
is there any way I could
No,
say
I think
had
I think
breakfast
it's
with
I think it's a statement of hyperbole. It's not the big deal. The big thing is how well they taught.
again, I'm focusing on this. These are false statements that this is a false statement that these folks had dinner with you when they did not, correct?
I think it's hyperbole. That's what I think it is. I think it's I think the important thing is the level of instruction. I think it's innocent hyperbole. Maybe he's trying to make a point. I don't know, but I didn't have dinner with him, but I think it's innocent hyperbole.
And okay, this is line 7. And again, you were just following what you were told to say in this recording, right? That Donald Trump had personally picked you. Answer, that's correct. And just to follow up, you've never met Trump, right? Answer, no. Question, so it's not true that he picked you? There's an objection. Answer, yeah, it's true. He didn't pick me, no. See that, Mr. Trump?
Yeah, well, that's different than what 178 says, right? Because 178, he's saying that because it's Michael Sexton. Michael Sexton was my arm. So, he was saying that Michael Sexton picks me. That's similar thing. So it's a very different kind of a question you'd be asking me.
You agree with me that Michael Sexton doing something is not the same as you personally doing something, correct?
No, I don't agree with that.
Objection.
Okay, so if Michael Sexton is brushing his teeth right now, is that the same thing as you brushing your teeth right now?
Timeout. It's an improper hypothetical. You can answer.
Michael Sexton, I assume, picked him, and Michael Sexton's my representative. So he assumed that I picked him. I mean, Michael Sexton is my representative. I don't hire most of the people in the Trump organization, but I hire them through people that work for me. So Michael Sexton was my representative, my personal representative. He picked him. And that's what he said in 178.
But he also said you did not personally pick him.
Well,
The witness said that.
Right. And he also said...
No, I didn't pick. I'm not saying I did pick him.
Right. You exactly. That's what I'm getting at. You did not personally pick him, correct?
No, I'm not saying I picked him, but Michael Sexton picked him, and Michael Sexton is my arm.
But you did not... He said he never met you. You did not meet him, correct?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. And you did not personally pick him, correct?
No, I didn't.
Mr.
No,
Goff.
I don't think so.
Okay. Did you authorize Mr. Goff to represent to students that you, Donald Trump, had personally picked him?
No, I never met him.
Is that the level of candor to falsely represent to students that you had personally picked him? Is that the level of candor you expected from the instructors at Trump University?
It assumes facts, not in evidence, is argumentative, and calls for improper opinion testimony. You can answer.
My representative handpicked him. He was my top executive. And that's all I know. I mean, I haven't heard this, but my representative picked him, and I assume because based on what he said in 178, my representative picked him. So that's all I can say.
But you agree...
I didn't pick him myself.
But you acknowledge, though, sir, that it is a false statement for Mr. Goff to say Donald Trump personally picked me.
Object to the question as calling for improper opinion testimony and assumes facts, not in evidence, and misstates the record. You can answer.
Well, I guess he's saying I picked him through my representative. I mean, I assume that's what he meant.
Well, that's not what he said. He said Donald Trump
I don't
personally
know.
picked me.
I'm just telling
Objection.
you an
Objection
interpretation.
that his testimony is in the record and speaks for itself, and it goes beyond the one excerpt you identified.
And what I'm asking you is, you heard what he represented to the students, that Donald Trump personally picked me. Is that true or false?
My representative, my number one, my top person picked him.
Okay, not you.
No, it wasn't me, but a lot of people would consider that to be an offshoot of me.
You weren't Steve Goff's partner, were you?
You picked. I wasn't who?
You weren't Steve Goff's partner, were you?
No.
The question is,
You didn't talk to Steve Goff all
No,
the time, did you?
I didn't speak to Steve Goff, no. But my representative picked him.
You had one lawsuit in which you sued somebody for defamation because they said you were worth hundreds of millions of dollars instead of billions.
And I
right?
did very well in that lawsuit. Unfortunately, we can't prove damages, so that's okay.
Hold on. Let's make sure we're talking about the same lawsuit. This is the lawsuit against Timothy O'Brien
Yeah.
and Warner Books.
Yeah.
And your testimony was you did very well.
Yeah,
in
we
that
were
lawsuit.
doing very well. And frankly, the biggest problem with that lawsuit is we couldn't approve damages.
No, your testimony you just gave was that you did very well in that lawsuit, right?
did you have?
Oh, I lost the lawsuit.
Okay.
But I made a very good point with that lawsuit.
So you lost the lawsuit.
Yeah, but I'm glad I brought that lawsuit. I made a very good point with that lawsuit.